Welcome everybody to another episode of the Weed News. I'm your host, Mike Cannon. Sorry for that initial days off, I just had to wait for the adrenaline needle that I jammed into my heart to kick in. Let's get started. In our first story, according to the Journal of Scientific Reports, also known as my diary, marijuana may be even safer than initially thought. By a wide margin, cannabis is the least risky recreational drug. Oddly enough, they found that alcohol was the deadliest, followed by heroin and cocaine. Yes, alcohol, followed by heroin and cocaine. Let me just say, for cocaine fans like myself and producer John, this is humongous news. But by all means, head down to CVS, grab your opiates, buy a 12-pack, and then head home to clean your gun, because who gives a fuck about science, right? These findings are actually nothing new. This study was actually done so it could reaffirm a similar one that was done 10 years ago under slightly different methodology. 10 years, and only recently has there been legislation on a recreational level. In that time, we've both legalized gay marriage and then brought it back to illegal again, and now I think it's on the up and becoming legal again. Either way, dicks are touching. Ow, that hurt my fists. It just shows how little of the scientific method actually goes into classification of drugs. I love how high and mighty I can be when I get all of this information from a third party who actually went out there and did the work. Or maybe they didn't do the work and this is just a ploy to sedate us so they can then inject tracking devices into our bodies. Either way, smoke if you got them. Now for our next segment, what to watch while weeded, streaming while stoned, buffering while taking bong hits, inhale while ingesting entertainment. I'll give up now. This past weekend was the Oscars, and I watched it toe up to the flow up, motherfuckers, and I would highly recommend it. The Oscars, a night where all the satanic reptiles of the world congratulate, fuck each other, and occasionally throw the Mexican guy a bone. Now, if Sean Penn actually said that, I could see where all the outrage stemmed from. It's always an interesting show to watch because some of these people are so famous that they don't get out of the house much. I got so weirded out by that moment that I actually got hard. I had to throw a move at the old lady just to kind of quell what was happening underneath. And you know what? She was so turned on by Jared Leto's ladyboy features that she took me up on it. Jared Leto, am I right? Unbelievable. If you're a person that's even mildly uncertain whether or not you're homosexual, find a guy like him. His soft, delicate features make it an easy transition. Plus, I'm almost certain that his asshole is hairless. Jared Leto can wean a guy off of women like Ariana Grande can wean a pedophile off of children. She looks 9, but she's entirely of age. She's like the methadone of children pussy. You gotta take some of her to kind of come down off of the high. I've never felt creepier in my entire life. I think I'm bleeding out of my dick. Am I the only one that watches the Oscars specifically trying to gauge who's gonna eventually stick their statue into somebody else that night? It's all I can think about. I can't even picture an Oscar statue without envisioning it covered in goo. And/or shit, depending on what you like. I bet Jared Leto's actually butt. He doesn't even have shit in there. It's some sort of liquid kind of, I bet it's rainbowy. Like it looks just it almost looks like your dick was in an oil slick, but it smells perfumey. Also, everybody is giving shit to Chris Pine for crying during the Selma song. Listen guys, he's just trying to show off his goddamn acting range so he doesn't have to be stuck playing Captain Kirk for the rest of his life. Also, he was clearly on Molly. And before our next segment, here at the Weed News in our boardroom where we field all of your oncoming questions, 4 of them this month, pretty dope, we've gotten constant requests for me to review more strains of marijuana. Like I said, I have limited access to specific kinds of weed that do particular things to you because I live in this goddamn pot internment camp known as New York City. But with that said, if you have any specific kinds that you'd like me to track down, please comment below or tweet me at @IamMikeCannon and I'll do my best to get it. Hell, if you even want to send something, just send it to Stand Up New York. Just kidding, right? No, I'm kidding. This is all right. It's a comedy show, so there's no legal binding to what I'm saying. Just send it in a smell-proof box with probably like coffee grounds. I've gotten all of my drug information from the movie Blow. Don't send it. I'm kidding. Information is on their website. Now it's our next segment, Joint Ventures, also known as What to Do While High. We're gonna talk about smoking weed while crying. It's not something that you can typically plan, but boy, is it an interesting experience. I've been crying a lot this week. I've learned that weed doesn't just stop the moisture from entering your mouth, it also stops the moisture from exiting your eyes. It's a natural tampon for your facial excretions. It also makes you heavily consider what it is you're actually upset about. I realized that I wasn't crying over anything I thought that I was initially upset about, but merely something else, and I just started laughing midway through, mostly because I realized that my eyes were pissing on my cheeks. Tasted the exact same. You know what I'm talking about, after sex every once in a while. Shoots up, might hit you in the chin and kind of leap up into you. You gotta lick it off. What are you gonna get, a towel real quick? No, you gotta. Time is of the essence. Once I started laughing, I stopped crying almost immediately and felt better about my day. Now, some of you might say, Mike, isn't that just masking your feelings and medicating yourself from actually going through the process of grief? And to that I say, no, I'm just feeling it deeper, quicker, which is the most psychotic thing I've ever said. I highly recommend smoking some pot while crying. If anything, it'll cheer you up eventually because of how ridiculous it is that you thought it would work. Either way, guys, thank you so much for watching another episode of The Weed News. Please subscribe below. Follow me on Twitter at @IamMikeCannon. Loving the tweets, loving the feedback. Joe, of course, is fucking missing in action again. You know what? The only person I can count on is John. Frederico had his own good run there for a little bit. He disappeared, along with a lot of our equipment. But John, you've been here from day one, and I appreciate your service, sir. Joe, I hope you rot in hell, you son of a bitch. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I want rainbows. We haven't had a graphic. I want rainbows shooting out of my palms.